Chapter 2 The Girl's Wing. Alice, did you hear what I said? Doc asked. Worry creases his brow. Sully set the fire, I say, my hands balled into fists. I stand and push the chair back. It scrapes along the floor. The doctor reaches out a reassuring hand. I believe you. He glances meaningfully at the door where I know Donnie the mullet waits on the other side, red wristband within reach. It's a veiled threat, and I don't appreciate it. Not at all. Please sit back down. I sit down on the edge of the seat, my body wound as tight as a bow. My lips are numb and my fingers dig into my palms. Sully set the fire, I bite out. I know I sound like a broken record or some stupid bird that knows only one phrase, but I can't seem to stop saying it. The doctor's eyes soften with what? Sympathy, pity, something I've seen before and don't like. I understand, he says. I don't think he does. But you, he hesitated a moment, searching my face. You and Sully have a history of this type of behavior. I know what Doc is talking about. Years ago, before the bad blood between Sully and me, when I was young and foolish and thought I could make her well, I took the blame for a fire she had set. Since that day, we've been lumped together, the pyromaniac twins. Doc is still talking, but I can process only every other sentence. The district attorney was very generous in the charges. All agree best for you to return to Savage Isle for your psychiatric evaluation before the trial. Oh my God, this must be some kind of cosmic joke. Disbelief and utter despair run heavy and icy through my veins. Sully's really done it this time. She succeeded. She brought me down. I'd clap for her if it wasn't so awful. We all have your best interests at heart, the doctor says. I still can focus on his words. Can't focus on his words. All I can focus on are my breaths, terrified breaths, and the dark trial looming over me. When? I asked. When what? He seems taken aback. When do I go to trial? It could be months. I don't think we should focus on that, though. I want us to focus on your recovery. You were injured in the fire. We'll wait until you're healed to see if your memory improves. A sudden thought occurs to me. Will Sully go to trial too? Doc's lips press together, and I don't think he's going to answer, but he does. Yes. Is she here? I fidget with the pen and journal in my lap. He glances at his watch and sighs. We're almost out of time. I don't miss his not subtle evasion. Questions jumble up in my mind. Where is Sully? Could she be here? Is she undergoing psychiatric evaluation as well? But we're almost out of time, and there's something else I need. Something more important. I think of my social worker, Sarah, with her kind eyes that remind me of fireplaces and apple pie. I want to see Sarah, I say, requesting a lifeline. Doc sets the legal pad aside, leans back in his chair, steeples his fingers together, and breathes in deeply. His voice is steady but not devoid of pity. Alice, as your attending physician, it is my duty to tell you that you've been involuntarily committed to the Oregon State Mental Hospital on Savage Isle to undergo psychiatric evaluation before going to trial. Because this is not your first offense and because you inflicted considerable harm, the judge has decreed a 48-hour no-contact hold. After the 48 hours pass, you will be allowed visitors. He paused, studies me for a moment, and lowers his voice a decibel. Is there something else I can do for you? He's offering me an olive branch. I'm wary, but I take a tentative hold. I hate asking for favors. It feels like you're trading power, but this is worth it because it's for Jason. I'd like to attend Jason's funeral. Perhaps that's something we can work toward. My grip on the olive branch loosens. I knew it. They've always dangled something in front of you. I allow my eyes to frost over. I see. Doc shifts in his chair, looks down at the open file in his lap. There's something else I want you to know, that your departure revealed certain holes in our security here. Since you've been gone, those holes have been patched. Is that another threat? It sounds like one to me. Are we clear? I nod swiftly. In that case, Doc shifts in his chair and grabs a little cup from the side table along with a bigger cup full of water. Medication time. He holds them out to me. They'll help you sleep, Alice. Make the time go faster. I take the cups from him and easily toss the pill and water back in one swallow. I open my mouth wide and stick out my tongue. Okay, Alice, we'll see each other tomorrow. Same time, same place. Group therapy in the morning. I say nothing as I walk out the door and shut it behind me. In the hallway, Donnie the mullet is nowhere in sight, but the mystery boy is. He sits in the chair just outside Doc's office, his legs splayed, elbows resting on them. Big headphones are looped around his neck. A soft beat emanates from them, and he drums his fingers to the rhythm. He looks up and smiles warmly at me. I glance over my shoulder just to make sure there's no one behind me. The hall is empty. It's just the two of us. Something inside me unfurls and reaches out to wrap around him. A stupid child that whispers, "Friend." Overheard some text talking about you, he says. How the fire starters are back. He moves his thumb as if sparking an invisible lighter. I suck in a sharp breath and take a step back. My fingers tense around the journal. Any kindness I felt for him drifts into the sky like a lost balloon. Don't call me that. One side of his mouth curls up. I shake my head and mutter, "Cocksucker." As I pass him, he laughs. "You got a dirty mouth." I flip him off and keep walking. Just then Donnie rushes through the hall. Before he can see me, I roll my tongue up into my right lip, spit the white pill out into my palm, and stuff it into my pocket. Behind me, the door to Doc's office opens. "Chase, come on in. We have much to discuss," Dr. Goodman says. Donnie reaches me, the smell of cigarette smoke clinging lightly to his tech uniform. He expels a breath and seems relieved that he's found me. He motions with his head for me to come, and once again I'm trailing behind him, following his mullet down the harshly lit hallways. We make it to the girls' wing, and he pauses in front of the door. He passes a keycard over a black box, and the door clicks as it unlocks. "You know the drill," he says. "Last bed check is at 11 p.m., breakfast at 8, and group therapy after. There's a schedule on the back of your door." As soon as I'm inside, the door swings quietly shut, and I'm bathed in darkness. The room is sparse. Even though it's dark, I know exactly how it's decorated, with a painting probably of some serene landscape that is caulked to the wall to prevent suicide by art, which may be one of the most poetic ways to go, and twin beds, each with a squeaky metal frame. The bed closest to the window is currently occupied. A shard of moonlight slices through the room, illuminating my roommate's face and bright pink hair. Her arm, which is covered with long, thick white scars, rests on top of her blanket. There's a bathroom in the corner with a toilet and sink, no shower. The bathroom has a door but no lock. It's an illusion of privacy, and I know in this place there is none. My lavender duffel bag sits on top of a wooden dresser that I'm sure is anchored to the wall. I drop the journal into my bag and fish out my toothpaste. I make my way to the bathroom, but on second thought I twirl back around and retrieve the journal and ballpoint pen. In the bathroom I brush my teeth with my finger. It's disgusting and does about an eighth of the job a real toothbrush would do. When I spit and rinse my mouth, still feels dirty. The journal and pen teeter precariously on the sink. I flicker on the light, grab them, sink to the floor, and open to a blank page. I write for a few minutes, furiously scribbling until my fingers cramp and the burns on my hand and shoulders itch, almost like something is burrowing beneath the skin. I rub the back of my head, where a headache still lingers. Most of the medication I was given at the first hospital has worn off. I'm feeling more alert, anxious, and a little queasy. The numbness is dissipating, and emotions rip through me like fireworks in the night sky. I think of Sally and her madness and where it's taken me. In my mind, a red carpet unrolls, and all I can see is a future with steel and mesh framed in windows, a future that was dim before it is even darker now. What little prospects I had left, the hope of going to college, of distracting myself from Sally, have been extinguished. All the grief I've tamped down erupts, and I quietly sob. I think of Jason, that I can't remember his last words hurt worse than a physical wound. Were they a plea? Did he quietly beg for his life and mine? Or were they soft and sweet, a final goodbye? Or maybe a promise to meet on the other side? I let myself cry until there is nothing left but hiccups. I stand and brush myself off. A steel rod settles into my spine. It's then I know what I have to do, for Jason and for myself. I say the vow aloud just to make it real. I'm coming for you, Sally. Come hell or high water, I'm going to find you, and when I do, I'm going to kill you. I leave the bathroom and slip out of my scrubs. As I fold them, the white pill falls to the ground. Crying has made the headache worse, and now it settles into a dull, aching throb. Leaning over, I pick up the pill and study it in the moonlight. I need a few hours without grief and guilt. I pop the pill into my mouth and swallow it dry. I try to keep the noise to a minimum as I climb into the bed. I lay back and wait for the pill to do its work, make the blue turn black. Tonight I'll allow myself to forget. And tomorrow is a new day. In the hazy twilight of my sleep, I replay the day's events. Something that boy Chase said sticks out in my mind. Overheard some text talking about you. How the fire starters are back. Fire starters. He said fire starters as in plural. Suddenly I know it as if there's still some cord that binds us that Sally is here. She's at Savage Isle and Chase knows where she is.